All right, we've got a treat today. We have Shamar Milton, the host of Artisan View.
Yes.
Shamar.
It's glad to be here. I'm glad to be here, man.
Good to have you, man.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us a little bit about why you started Artisan View.
So the Artisan View project started actually in 2018 when my cousin and our best friend, we all graduated together. Oh, actually not graduated together. He went to, I think, another school. Me and my best friend went to McNeese State. So 2018, we share our art, and we formulated this group where we just wanted to just talk about art, design, film, whatever aspect that encompasses all those type of artistic abilities. And we just call it the Artisan View. Now, it took a little bit of hiatus after one of like my best friends, one of the group members passed away tragically, and just started out this year with you actually inviting me to shoot 2 episodes here. This is my 3rd. So yeah.
Well, great.
I enjoy it.
That's awesome, because you were telling me earlier the reason why you started it was because you wanted to give a platform for artists and creatives.
Yep.
I know how important that is, right? To give someone a voice. Where did you come up with the idea to create something like this? Like you said, Artisan View, you've always had this group of people that bounced ideas off of one another. Why a podcast platform? Dude,
it's like, the greatest ideas come to you when you're in the bathroom, you're in the shower, you're in the tub, and you're like, crap, I got to run out and get a piece of paper because I'm going to forget it. So the Artisan View project came to me in that aspect. So I was actually taking a shower one time, and multiple times, so I always take showers. I smell good. But just sitting there, and I was like, crap, what about the Artisan View project? And then I presented it to my cousin and my best friend, and I was like, they're like, yeah, bro, we should definitely run with that. And they always, say the idea of like, hey, just go ahead and just make it. Just go ahead and make it. Mm-hmm. And like I said, having a platform for artists to get out and actually talk about their craft, their success, the downfalls, the pitfalls, the advice you could give to somebody, to a young artist or to a young filmmaker or to a young designer, regardless. And it's just talk about life, man. That's all it is. Just talk about life and art.
Dude, that's super important. You and I met at and what would you call that? Like a creative meetup?
Yeah, the creative meetup. It was actually put together between me and Stuart Polton. And like I met him at an AAF meeting, and people were like, man, y'all need to talk and figure things out. And I brought the idea up to him, and he was like, we're going to make it. And I was like, what? Mm-hmm. He was like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and just put it together. Yeah. And I was like, well, let's go. And we did it, and we had a great turnout. But like I said, and like you stated, you and Jeff and a handful of people stayed, and we created some magic and made a film and all those good things.
Dude, I love that. So what's your most big claim to fame right now? Because there's so much that you've done. I know you're a VFX artist, you're a photographer, you're a videographer.
Yep.
Right? You've done so much. What would you say most people need to know about you?
Dude, and sometimes this is one of my pet peeves, and I can't really say it's pet peeve. I think the one thing is I hate talking about myself, and some people are like, dude, just talk. It's not bragging. You're just sharing your stuff.
Well, I'm asking the questions, and you're really
right.
just answering questions,
so
right?
There's 2. One was working with Factor VFX for Ford vs. Ferrari, and that got Oscar nominated. And we lost to Parasite. The film lost to Parasite for the best film, and I was kind of perturbed about that one. So close, bro. And then the second one was actually the Billboard Music Awards, working with Factor VFX as well. Again, for the Michael Jackson hologram, because that one was the last. Oh, wow. Yeah, I did the rotoscope for that, and tracking for the hologram, and that one sticks out to me because that one, I was working in New Orleans, and my parents and my sister came visit, and they were about to leave, but then my dad, who at the time, God rest his soul, was taking a break from chemo. So he came to visit in New Orleans, and then they was like, you know what, let's stay another day. And then all of a sudden I looked and said the Billboard Music Awards was airing that night, and we all watched it. and they were very ecstatic about it because that was the last one my dad got to see before he passed away. So that one holds a very special place in my heart. You know, between the Billboard Music Awards with Michael Jackson hologram, and then Ford versus Ferrari.
So where does Game of Thrones fit in?
Dude, so it was a pitch idea when I first got hired in at Factory. And it was just me and the script writer or script reader at the office in New Orleans. And the owner of Factory VFX reached, he came in and says, hey, we're doing a pitch for Game of Thrones. And I was like, excuse me? He was like, yeah. So then he reached out and said, hey, look, you're going to design a whole entire castle system. And then we're going to use that to pitch for Pitch Viz. And I was like, awesome. Are we going to have a team? It's like, no, you're going to design the whole entire thing. And I was like, great. Awesome. Okay. So I designed, castle system with gantries and stuff like that, and did a fly through and stuff like that.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we were talking about when I first met you. He's like, dude, that's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what this world looks like, So what are you doing now?
So I work for Lamar Graphics as a 3D artist. Majority whenever a client comes through and says, hey, we would like to put, like I say, a giant Coke cap or a 3D Sasquatch or any type of 3D prop, I'm the one that usually designs it. We quote it, and then it goes to milling, and we put it together out of foam.
So don't you have to install these things too?
I don't. So we do actually produce install guides to wherever it goes in the United States, that plant or that organization, part of Lamar, will go out and install those on the billboards.
Dude, that's so cool. So you design things for other places.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the furthest reach you've had?
Oof. Let's see. Just on mine.
Like
Tennessee.
your projects.
Tennessee.
And what was that?
It was a 17-foot Sasquatch that has it's on crutches for a hospital.
Yeah. All right, dude. What was the ad? What was
the ad?
What was the
I
billboard?
totally forgot. It was just saying God, it's I think it's like 2 years
a 17-foot Sasquatch.
Yeah,
on
it's a 17.
crutches.
Yeah, and he had a smile and all that type of stuff. Looked like
so he was happy.
Yeah, it was very happy. It was like went to a hospital that it was very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are these 3D things you see that tower over these billboards and that pop out of them.
Yep.
Like Gordon McKernan does those.
Yep.
You've worked with Gordon before too?
Yep. I worked with him. I worked there as their digital content manager. And then after that, signed on with Lamar.
Very cool, man.
Yep.
So what's your biggest project that you're working on now that's not work related?
Not work related?
Give me a passion project.
Passion project, script writing for a horror film.
Oh, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes,
don't tell us too much.
I won't. So there was this idea my wife popped up with, and she was like, "Hey, you should make a film about Louisiana folklore called like Kushma." And I was like, and I'm not a horror fan because I have an overactive imagination. So if I turn here and all of a sudden see something moving in the corner, you're like, "Oh crap, let me leave." But it's basically going to revolve around like a house and a family that visits and stuff like that. And it's actually a girl who's was gifted that home, was willed that home. And then the entity actually is in that home itself and latches on to her, but nobody else sees it until the end of the film.
Wow. I've never written a script like that before.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through what's your daily...
The meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to come up my thing because I'm not a professional script writer. I just have an idea and I just go for it, right? So you basically come up with your beginning, your middle, and your end. So basically, how I already came up with my end and how I want it.
So you work backwards?
Oh yeah, I work backwards because I'm like, okay, how can I, close everything out? How can I keep the audience, grasp, keep them attached to it? Because in today's society, everybody with social media, their attention span, it just dissipates,
So short.
right? So you have to literally grab the audience at the beginning. So if you're pitching a script from some friends of mine who've told me who pitched scripts before, you have to get the producer or the managing company who wants to make your film right off top. They have to want to make that film. Right. So you can't just come in with a blah script and all of a sudden you'll just, okay, cool. We'll talk to you later and, never hear from them again.
That's very cool. So dude, I couldn't write a script, I don't think.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can. You're creative enough to write a script.
I'm going to have to try.
Anything.
I'm going to get your help with it.
It doesn't even have to be a film. It could be a commercial. It could be a short. It can be anything that you imagine it to be.
Well, I have written scripts for those.
See, there you go.
But I want to write like a feature script.
A feature?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a movie per
Yeah.
se, but something longer than 5 minutes.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
That's definitely doable. I mean, especially if you know other artists like me and Jeff and Lemma, our partner Lemma, who's also worked on, we helped her create her film. So basically, if we can do all those type of things, we can make it happen. And it's also a meeting of the minds, because some things, like, say, if you present an idea to me and then I'm like, that's not how that works, or like, hey, how about we do it this way? Constructive criticism, positive criticism. So that way it's like, okay, this doesn't work, but how about doing this? There's always, a positive ending.
That's what I like about the group that we have going on.
Yeah.
It's there's no ego.
Nope.
Right.
Not at all.
It's a bunch of people just having fun, to be honest.
Yeah. And when you reached out and said, hey, let's do something, like, that's the type of energy I've always wanted to be around, because the energy of somebody who's like, let's create something. Let's shoot something. Let's map out a script and just go film. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of energy everybody who is in a creative collective should have. Not somebody who's like, no, I ain't got time for you guys. Or the people that you surround yourself with. You can always have a bad egg in there who's like, I just want to create my stuff and not anybody else's.
That's selfish, man.
Yeah, it is selfish.
Nobody wants to hang out with people like that.
No, not at all. And that's the reason why I like our group.
Our group is very good, man.
That's the reason I like our group.
I've never been a part of a creative collective before. Usually I'm a very small group of people that do things.
Yep.
This is the first time I've kind of reached out, and it was all through the meetup at I Wander.
Yep.
And I had lunch with Stuart not too long ago.
Yeah.
Right.
How'd that go?
Great, man. Dude, I love that guy.
Yeah. Stuart's
Once
awesome.
again, he's a doer. He just does things.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the energy that I like to be around. Like, let's not talk about things. Let's do things. Like, people sit around and talk all day long, but I'm an action kind of guy, dude. Not just in movies. I'm an action movie kind of guy.
Yeah.
But in life, you have to take action. Action will lead to motivation, allows you to do more things. Everyone's got ideas. Everyone's an idea person, right? We can do this. We can do that. We can do a lot of things, but what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Right? What's it going to look like? When are we going to finish? Where do we deliver this thing?
Yep.
Right? So that's being around the right group of people will push you to do. Let's be honest. We all procrastinate.
Oh, dude.
Right?
Yes. I have an idea book that has a lot of my ideas in it. Right. And I also have 2 hard drives, terabyte hard drives. And those have all my t-shirt designs, graphic designs, all that stuff in there. My cousin says, hey, man, don't be scared to put the stuff out. I mean, you can't take none of this stuff with you. You can't take your cameras with you. You can't take your SD cards. You can't take your designs, all that. I mean, you're going to have people that are going to hate on you regardless of, oh, man, that design sucks. But that's their opinion. It's not yours. In life, those opinions we sometimes gravitate to, right?
We give them a lot more.
You give them more power.
Like, weight than they should deserve.
Yes. You give them more power. And once you give them that power, they've got you, right? So it's whenever you decide to say, my opinion matters. This is my art. This is my design. Cool. You feel that strongly about it. Awesome. But what are you doing? Right? It's always the loudest, my dad's put it, the loudest can in the room carries the most noise. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I respect about you and Stuart is, like, you guys are doers, and surrounding yourself with people that are doers also influences you, me, to like, okay, I can do this more now that I have this group of people. Because sometimes, like, say, we've talked before, is you can't talk business with people who don't understand business. You can't talk design with people who understand design, right? Because, like, I used to talk to my mom. Well, I talk to my mom all the time. But anyway, I would try to break down visual effects for her. Or I would do the same thing for my wife. My wife would be like, oh, okay, cool. But then she was like, wow, you actually did this, this, and this. It's
Once
like,
they see the end product.
Yes, it's the end product that gets everybody excited. But the meat and potatoes that goes into
The process.
the process. You know, it's like when you're making spaghetti. You don't just put noodles and wind up with spaghetti. You have that whole entire process. You have to cook it. You have to boil it. You have to season it. You have to do your meatballs. You have to make sure it tastes right. And then you have your end product.
Everyone just sees the end.
Yes.
That's all they focus on.
Yes.
Like, why can't I make spaghetti and meatballs? Because you didn't go to the grocery store. All right.
Yeah, man.
You didn't buy anything to make
Yeah.
it. Right. So I like what we're doing now. I have a new saying, done is better than perfect, because perfect is never done.
Yep.
Dang, sorry.
No, you're good.
Because I often am paralyzed by perfection, right?
Yeah.
It has to be perfect. People are going to talk about it if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
You know what? The people better than you, they won't talk down about you. All they're going to say is they're going to say, good job, keep going.
Yeah.
The ones who talk bad about you are the ones who aren't doing anything.
Yeah. That's
But yet
100%.
we listen to them more than we listen to the people who are like, hey man, you got this a little bit more, right? Those are the voices that I want to listen to now.
You can get 1,000 yeses or 1,000 applause and have 2 people come in and just degrade you and belittle you or say that sucks. And you're going to listen to those 2.
But you know you shouldn't.
No.
The older you get, the more you start to realize that, once again, their voices don't carry any weight. Their opinions say more about them than it does about you or your work. You know how much effort you put in. Either you're proud of your effort or you're not, right? You know if you did enough, or you know if you didn't do enough, if you could have done better. If this is the best that you can do right now, you're going to be very proud of it. But I can promise you, if that's the best that you can do today, tomorrow you've already figured out a way to be better.
Dude, I can tell you right now, for example, when you're saying that, like plus it and plus it and plus it. So we had I think it was my visual effects class at Dave School under Dan Smith, and one of the TAs, who's one of my best friends, we call him Veg, his name's Trent, and I was working on a sci-fi shot for our final, and he was like, and mind you, the school, like our class started around like 5, we were there from like 11 or so, and then worked after hours. So I would show him, I was like, Veg, is this done? He was like, plus it. Well, 2 o'clock came in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning came, and I was like, am I done? He was like, now you're done. I was like, God, now I can go sleep. I turned it in. Boom. I got a 75, I believe. But anybody in that class, we were told, if you get a 95, I'll get you a job at ILM. And ILM is a big deal. Well, none of us got 95s. We all got C's, low C's, and we just we left. We went to the bar, we drank, and just got happy because we passed the class. But it's like, there's always people that see the best in you because they know your potential. And that's the people.
You settle.
Yeah, they don't. And settling is the worst thing. I've done it. I've settled. And then when you feel uncomfortable enough to where you're like, okay, this isn't me. This isn't what I want to do. How can I better myself? You know, like case in point, I graduated from McNeese State in 2007. I couldn't find a job in my degree field. And I went and built scaffolds for 7 years, I believe. And that will literally tell you like hard work. Like I'm not, I'll do hard work. I like to work. I like to just be busy, work on my hands, all that type of stuff. So, it didn't matter. And I like to make my own money. I don't like people taking care of me or anything like that. I didn't like my parents taking care of me. Like, man, don't worry about it. Something's going to happen. Something's going to shake loose. I was like, no, I'm going to go do this. So I mustered up the courage. I asked my buddy's cousin, like, hey, man, you got a job for me? He says, yeah. So I built scaffolds for 7 years. And then at that point, I was like, I am done. My body hurts. I'm smashing my fingers every day, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and driving to Beaumont, Texas, to ExxonMobil and building scaffolds.
Cool. You drove that way every day for 7 years?
Every day. Well, not for 7. So we did, I think, 3 years at ExxonMobil, or 3 or 4 years at ExxonMobil. Then we got transferred to PPG, which is like at home, like in Lake Charles. So we were very fortunate. We're like, oh, now we don't have to wake up at 4 in the morning and make that drive. So, it taught me a lot of hard work. It taught me like, hey, I appreciate everything that life hands me, because nothing's ever perfect, ever. And that I remember at, I think, 300 feet in the air, I was on a derrick on I forgot what platform I was on, but I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I went home Jumped on DeviantArt, was looking at some different art and stuff like that and everything. And I saw this little side scroller that said Dave School. So I was like, oh, let me take the trip out here. So me and my mom, my sister packed up and we flew to Dave School. My dad stayed. And then toured the school. And I was like, this is where I want to go. This is where I want to be. And there was like phenomenal professors there who were actually, worked in the industry. And we were taught by great people. And went to school for, I think, a year. And then graduated, and our graduation was at Universal City Walk, where they showed our student film, and then got hired and moved to LA and worked on a TV show out there, and then moved over to New Orleans, worked a couple spots in New Orleans with factory effects and hydraulics and so on and so forth.
So you just kind of glazed over all these awesome things that you've done, right?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, we're going to go backwards. All right, Dave School. Where's Dave School?
Dave School's in Orlando, Florida. It's on the back lot of Universal Studios.
So you lived in Orlando, Florida.
Yep.
And you went to school on the back lot of Universal Studios for a year.
Yep.
Tell me some things about that.
Man, it was very great to a point where they said whenever we're stressed, we can actually just go into the park. And
Really?
I was like,
So you had free reign.
it was like, we can go into the park? I said, yeah. I was like, so we'd like leave class and we're stressed out. Or like, oh my God, I don't know when this model's going to be done. Oh man, I got to make sure this is turned in correctly, because we were actually taught file structure. Make sure everything is in the file, so that way, if you're a 3D modeler, the animator can find where they need to find it. If you're a texture artist, you need to make sure they can go in the right folder and pull this. Excuse me. And also visual effects and all those type of things. So yeah, when we were stressed, we would actually go into the park and ride there,
Ride the Harry Potter ride.
And then, go and get a Ben and Jerry's ice cream and pass out on the green screen and be like, all right, time to go back to work. And I mean, it was very fun. I mean, our class, I believe, was by far the best class. We all still stay in contact with one another. We all bounce ideas off each other and say, how does this look? Or, hey, you checked out this animation, or hey, this got this new plug-in coming in. So I'm very, very fortunate of not finding a job after college, and actually just doing hard work and busting my knuckles and going to Dave School.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. I used to hate that term. Oh my God.
It builds you up.
I hated it.
We were talking about it before. Most people aren't ready for success.
No.
You have to work for it.
Yep.
You got to go through the sucky parts.
Yeah.
Those sucky parts are the ones where you realize who you are as a person.
And you don't realize it. And you don't realize at that time that, hey, what's preparing you, what you're going through is preparing for the future, or preparing you for the next move, or like, hey, your success is behind this door. You just got to just hold on just a little bit more.
You got to keep walking.
Yeah, you got to, man.
Dude, I love that. The group that you were talking about, is that the same group that you talk to, I guess, every Wednesday or so? Like once a week that you talk to them, right?
Yeah.
Y'all like hop on a Zoom call?
We jump on a Zoom call. We're either on Skype or whatever. Or like, hey, we just like to be around each other and just like, hey, I'm designing this, or I'm drawing this, or I'm animating this, or I got pitch viz, or I'm going to try to pitch this to Netflix or whatever. And it's very inspiring, because you're not the only one who's trying to get something off the ground. You're also can bounce these ideas off of other creative people, rather than just like, hey, check this design out. And somebody's like, okay, cool.
Nice.
Nice. What are we eating?
Yeah.
Or where are we going? Like I bounce ideas off my wife, and she is literally like, I don't like that. Change this. Move this here. This doesn't sound right. And that's also a positive thing, because like, I'll never be in a room with people that don't offer positive criticism, because if I'm messing something up, let me know. Or if something doesn't sound right, or if my camera angle's off, or the animation doesn't move correctly, or if it's not rigged correctly, or the textures are just floating around and not popping off the screen, or if I don't have it framed up correctly, or my audio's not working, let me know. I mean, I'm okay with, trust me, I've, like I said, worked in for other businesses, and who I will not mention, and other places where it actually teaches you tough skin. That's also, backbone.
That's a skill that most people don't have anymore. Right?
What?
You got to have a tough skin.
You do have to have a tough skin.
And that doesn't mean be a pushover. It doesn't mean be a doormat.
No.
But it means you have to take criticism and you have to see the truth for what it is.
Yeah.
Everyone that gives you criticism doesn't necessarily want to see you succeed, but the right people, they want you to put out the best work that they've ever seen you do.
Yeah.
Right. They know you better than that.
Yep.
Right. Sometimes you want to phone it in. Sometimes you want to just put it out and be like, I just want to get done with this project.
Yeah.
And then hopefully someone like your wife comes on and says, Shamar, dude, you can do way better than that.
Oh, dude.
Right.
Like, yes, I've been called out before by some friends of mine, and where I've already posted or put it out there. My cousin was like, hey, man, go ahead and delete that, fix this, and then repost it, or just put it out there. And that's the people you want to be around. I mean, and it also, too, it's life, because you're not going to find those people right off top.
No.
You're not going to find those people right off top. You're going to have to sift through a lot of people that are just in for just them. And when you get around those right people and find your group, that's when you'll know.
Oh, it's tough, man.
That's when you'll know.
Because no one has to give you feedback. And if I don't know you very well, I'm not going to give you as constructive a feedback as I would if I knew you. So you have to get to know people first.
Yep.
And then you get the really good feedback. Because once again, feedback's a gift, man. I don't have to give it to you. I can just stay silent and say, nice.
Yep.
Right. But that doesn't help you grow. That doesn't make you be a better person. Right. Your VFX don't get better after that. They stay the same level because no one pushed you to be more.
Yep.
Right. That's why you have to surround yourself with those types of people.
Yeah.
Right. Good enough's not good enough, man. It just isn't.
Dude, that's just like when you talk about success and we talk about like meeting new people, right? When Stuart was like, yeah, we're going to do this. And I'm like, we're going to go to iWander and we're going to just talk about our specific things. And I was like, shoot, I got to talk. And Stuart was like, no, you got it. I was like, all right, let me go ahead and prepare this presentation and blah, blah, blah. And so, like I said, sometimes I'm like talking about myself, to where he's like, no, you talk about all the things that you have to talk about, because what you share could inspire somebody else. Right. I didn't expect, like I got
It
up there.
inspired me.
Yeah.
That's why
like
we're
when you
sitting
guys
right
walked
here,
up, man, like I was like, when I opened my mouth and started talking, then I felt in my creative space. Like I'm sharing what I've learned. I'm sharing my success, sharing these type of things, sharing my wins, because what I see as a win, somebody else might not see. Right. And it's okay, because that's my life, not yours, and whatever I share can inspire somebody else, and they can get up just like you guys walking over. Because I was excited when I was like talking and showing the process of ZBrush and animation and sculpting and so on and so forth. And you guys got up, you and Jeff, Lemma came over, Kane was there, and we were all just talking. And in my head, I'm like, wow, this is what I like. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be surrounded by. Creative people who are asking questions, because if I don't know the answer, I'm going to find it for you. Or I'm just going to ask my buddies if they know it, because that's my rule of thumb, is I don't gatekeep. Gatekeeping is literally it's like an ick or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I know something, I'm going to tell you, because I'm not scared of you taking something from me or whatever, because like it could be something where, hey, how can I figure this out? This, do you have a solution for this shot or this commercial or this ad or this design? And I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Or I'll keep it to myself, but I won't tell you about it. I don't appreciate it.
It doesn't help anybody.
I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it. If I can help you and tell you to better your career or anything like that, I'm fine with it.
We have a saying, it's give without expectation. If you expect something in return, you did it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
And I praise all my friends' success. No matter if it's a small win or a big win, I'm not going to say, man, I wish I was them. No, I've never, ever said that in my life, because I'm proud of you guys' success with Lana Oliver, with our moms. And I'm proud of my cousin with his photography business. I'm proud of my friends who do their pitch ideas for Netflix. I'm proud of my friends who just take out it and just like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I want to do. I don't care what nobody else says. I'm very proud of that.
There's a saying, comparison is the thief of joy, but there's a saying that builds on top of that resonates with me. Your success doesn't take away from my success. So why can't I celebrate your success? Right?
Yeah.
When you see people who don't celebrate others, you're like, bro, like it doesn't mean anything about you. You know, like you can be happy for someone else and still be doing awesome.
Yeah.
But if you think because they did well, they somehow took away from you. It's the I'm going to say it's the dumbest thing ever.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Because everybody thinks like, well, if I help them, they're going to take my job. If I help them, they're going to do this. Now, there's sometimes where people, like I've seen it where they've trained their replacement, you know, but it was either nepotism or it was like, okay, you weren't doing a good enough job, or maybe that job has come to an end for a reason for you to be better at something else, you know. But cheering for people's success is a great way of knowing how successful you are and what you've contributed. Because if you can give me a little nugget that gives me or helps me progress myself, you should feel very happy about that, right? Like if I come to you for a business idea, JP, you're business minded. How can I make this work? And then you would give me those steps. And then I take that, and that is success. And you're like, awesome. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, because my success is your success.
We share,
you know, and that's what you should look for in a creative group.
That's the only thing I look for, to be honest.
You know,
I'm not looking for a creative group because I need anybody.
Yeah.
Right. I'm looking for a creative group because I want the right people to fuel my creativity, to fuel my drive.
Yep.
You know, I can only go so far. You know, when you realize that you need other people to be successful, it makes sharing a lot easier to do.
Yep.
Because, for instance, I made a bartending video, and for the longest time I meant 3 weeks. So for 3 whole weeks, I kept it to myself and it was only internal. And someone asked me for bartending help, and I was like, do I give this away? You know, do I give away my competitive advantage, right? And then when you start to think about it, there was no competitive advantage in there. My training videos are going to make my team really good at what they do.
Yeah.
Just because their team is good at what they do doesn't take away from my team.
Yep.
You know? So why can't I share? Because the way I look at it is I want to help people because people are going to help me in return. Everyone assumes that giving is one-to-one, right? If I give you something, you have to give me something in return. It's not how it works, not in that strict sense, right? When I give to you, you give to somebody else. That person gives to another person. Now you create this ripple effect, this pay it forward effect, right? And then before you know it, all of this comes back to you and then you start to benefit, right? But it's very rare that I help you and then you help me in return, like immediately, right? But the help does come around. If more people realize that, they would collaborate more. There's there's a saying that I heard somewhere. It's like people at the bottom compete, people at the top collaborate.
Yep.
Right. So if you're competing against one another, you're never looking at the big picture. You're just looking at that small thing that you do really well right now, but you're not looking at all the tens of thousands of things that you could be doing better.
Yeah.
All you need is a little bit of help, right? Everyone
and that's
needs
it. That is it. Like you just said it. Like you hit the nail on the head. It's like everybody needs help. Everybody needs that little bit of push. And sometimes, like, I think you and I had this conversation before we hit play on the cameras, is sometimes you don't think, I know for me for sure, before I started having more confidence in myself, making sure you're sitting at the right table. Sometimes you don't feel that you're worthy to sit at that table. And then you start realizing, like, I am worthy to sit at my table. And that table isn't built for me. Like, the table I've made for myself is filled with creative people, loving people, collaborative people, inspiring people, beautiful and artistic. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I had to realize, like, that is my collective. Inspiring somebody who inspires me, right? Like I can, like one of my friends who called me right before the podcast, he was like, hey man, what you doing? I was like, oh, I'm about to go shoot a podcast for the Artisan View with JP and Lana Oliver. And he was like, awesome. He's a concept artist, great dude, Carlos Negron from Puerto Rico. And this guy, me and him talk all the time, and like on Wednesdays or Thursdays or whatever. And we're big Transformers buffs. And he'll literally, hey, bro, check out this illustration. And he'll literally, like, when I'm talking about confidence issue, like, I have confidence, and he has confidence too. But I was like, dude, this is badass. This is awesome. I'm like, nah, man, it's okay. I was like, no, this is freaking great. And like pouring into his cup, and then telling like, no, you need to fix this animation, and him pouring into mine, and then turn around and like, okay, JP, you have an animation. Do you need anything or whatever? And pouring into y'all's cup, and you pouring into, you know, so on and so forth. That is the table you belong at.
Dude, I love that you started talking about pouring into cups, because that's one of the best analogies that I have for my life right now. It originally started with, you can't pour from an empty pitcher.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So you have to fill your pitcher. A buddy of mine told me the reason why you're able to pour into other people's pitchers is because your pitcher is overflowing. So combine that with how I fill my pitcher. You fill your pitcher with having the right people around you.
Yep.
Because as you're filling their pitcher, they're filling your pitcher. But if you're filling pitchers for people and they're never filling yours back, guess what happens? That's where burnout happens. That's when you give up. That's when you say, this isn't for me. This kind of sucks, right? But when everyone's filling each other's pitcher, we never run dry.
Yep.
And that's what I like about creating or being a part of a group that understands this is why we do this.
Yeah.
We don't, if you think about it, no one in our group directly works together, right? Like Lemma doesn't work with us in any capacity, right? Nothing, Kane doesn't, like Michael doesn't, like none of us actually work together.
Yeah.
You and I don't work together, right? But somehow when we get together, it's such a good, like just,
it's like a wholesome
an
dynamic.
infusion of just creativity and talent. You know, everyone's got great ideas and everyone brings the right amount of energy to it, and no one takes from us.
Yeah.
Right. We've been in circles before that people take, and guess what? We don't belong in those circles. We're not going to be a part of that. You know?
So the taking circle is literally like, it just drains you 100% to where it's like, I, and you're like, oh my God, is this going to be like this all day? Are we going to do this all day, to where you're not feeling filled, to where you're just like, all right, just press play, record, whatever, and I'm done. So that way I can just go. And then I've been in those situations, you've been in those situations, and you're just like, I'd rather not do this. I'd rather turn down an expensive job. And I've done that before.
Yep, we all have.
Where somebody wanted me to film their wedding, and I just knew the type of personality the bride was bringing. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. You know, I was like, schedules, you know, we're booked out that date, because it's just like, I'm not going to deal 12 hours all day, and I just ready to press record and walk away. You know?
If they take that artistic like feeling away from the job, I don't think I want to do it, man.
No,
now,
man.
I will tell you this. I would love to say there's no amount of money in this world that would make me take that job, but that's a flat out lie.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is.
If you paid me enough, I would grit through it.
Yeah.
Right? The artistic feeling would come very green. You know, like I'd be focusing on that part.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to get an amazing product, but you're not getting it because I like what I'm doing. Right? You're going to get an amazing product because this is who I am.
Yeah.
And you're paying me a butt ton of money right now. Right?
Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand the time that goes into being creative, right? They see the concept that you pitch to them, and then they see the final result, right? Like, say you're shooting a commercial, I'm shooting a wedding or filming an animation or doing whatever. So here's the concept, here's the end result, here comes post. Post is where all the work happens. You know, like you go film a wedding. I mean, you know, other wedding videographers, they have an on-site team or whatever who edit at the wedding themselves and do a next day edit. I don't do that. I give myself some breathing room because I edit everything myself, because I like to put, if you're going to deal with Shamar, you're going to get a Shamar edit, right? So I want to put that feeling in. And, you know, when I capture it, my feelings go into it, like, oh, this is a beautiful shot, the way they turn, the way this, the elegance of the dress, why the rings, so on and so forth. So that's the emotion you put into your work. Everybody doesn't see the post work. So when you're bidding a job, people are like, "Oh man, you're too expensive." And I don't know if you guys ever heard like, "Oh, that's kind of out of my budget," or "That's way too expensive. This is that and the other," right? So we're okay, cool. I mean, that's the price we work with, but I mean, we can customize something for you, and that's the second step that I'll do. Right? We'll customize something. But we won't go like, okay, we're going to shoot 12 hours for $500. That's not going to happen.
Oh, wow. No.
That's not going to happen. I would be like, well, I can forward you to somebody else who would do it for that.
That's what we do. So
but
we can't take a job
yeah,
because it's not worth our time, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
Our time is spent with a lot of pre-production. You said a lot of post-production. Post-production is expensive. You think it's easy just to pump and edit out. It's not like we just point the camera at something and then all of a sudden, bang, you have a video.
Yeah.
Right. There's so much emotion that goes into what we do, which is why I enjoy this. I enjoy editing. I really enjoy shooting because I enjoy shooting because I enjoy being there. I enjoy feeling what people are feeling. But when you take that feeling and then you translate it to a video, a 2D, image, basically. Do you know how hard it is? You do, but do you know how hard it is to translate feelings to a moving picture, basically?
Yeah.
It's not easy, right? Because a fraction of a second matters, right? That right when they glance, right when they turn their head, right when an action happens, that's where the magic is. But if you let it run for half a second too long, the magic's gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Your brain interprets a lot of things. So there's a lot of things you show people, but there's a lot of things you don't show people to get the feeling that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So that's why, and we talk about the post-production being hard, which it is, but to me, arguably, the pre-production is even harder.
Yeah.
Because the pre-production is where you figure out what that final edit looks like before you even shoot anything.
Yeah.
Right? So it gives you a blueprint, a roadmap to get to that final edit. So I was talking to someone the other day about shot lists and why they're so important to me, right? A shot list is not a ChatGPT shot list either, because we were talking about this. ChatGPT has no emotion. So if you say, this is the concept, this is what I'm looking for, give me a shot list, it's going to be the most boring shot list you've ever seen in your entire life, right? Because it doesn't know emotion.
Yep.
So can you take that and kind of manipulate it into something that's good for you? Yes. But the way I look at ChatGPT for shot listing is it gives you ideas, but then you make your shot list.
Yeah.
Your shot list is saying, I want to show this because this is the feeling that I want.
Yeah.
We always start with an emotion. This is the emotion I want to convey. Every single decision from concept, pre-production, actual production, post-production, it makes that, it goes toward that feeling.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I think most people miss when they say, what do you mean you can't just make me a video? And you're like, loaded question, man. Like, I was like, you want me to pull my phone out? I can do that, right? If that's what you're expecting, then yes, 100%. But if you're looking for something that actually makes people feel something, that's something completely different, right? We have to make sure the lighting is correct. We got to make sure your wardrobe is correct, right? Every time you shoot a video, it's like a mini movie set.
Don't wear stripes.
Don't wear stripes, man. I still don't know how to say that word. Is it Moira?
I don't know.
Moira?
Moire.
Moire? I can spell it for you. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, don't wear stripes.
Don't wear stripes.
Don't wear thin stripes.
You know the crazy. I was on a shoot one time and we literally stated, "Don't wear stripes." 3 people showed up and like the worst is like black and white stripes, and I was like, "Really? Did we not get the memo to not wear stripes on this? Now it's going to be like a moving wavy line."
Oh, it's terrible.
And like you said, pre-production can also be, like you said, it's a headache.
It is a headache
because literally
a lot of people skip that step.
It's everybody's idea. A lot of ideas are going to hit the cutting room floor, just like when you get into post-production, do editing. A lot of, like you said, the things you show, the emotion, and all those little cuts are going to hit the floor because that's what you're not going to show, right? But pre-production, man, I think I forgot the latest project we all worked on. I think it was Lemon's film.
Yep.
That had a lot of pre-production, And I know the next film we work on is going to have a lot of pre-production as well.
It will.
Because I think with our group, we're such a talented bunch. I respect everybody that's in our group. And I can't wait to bring in more people who are like-minded like us to fill our cup and we can fill theirs. Because the more creative people we add that fuel our fire and aspirations, I think the more successful we'll all be.
Dude, 100%. I remember how adamant Jeff was about pre-production. Like, we have to do this.
Oh yeah,
Many people are like, why is that important? Why is this important? And you get to it. You get to the actual production. This is the one before Lemons too.
Oh yeah,
that one. We can run and gun with the best of them.
Yeah,
but you know what you get at the end? Something lucky.
Yeah,
right. I don't want to rely on luck. I want to know by the end, did we get what we wanted? You talk about being creative all the time, but creativity comes from having structure first.
Yeah.
Once you have all the shots you need to make the edit, when I say edit, obviously the movie or the film or the video, right? You have all of your shots to make the edit, the safety ones, like the ones that you know, without a doubt, no matter what happens, I'm putting an edit together and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Now you get creative.
Yep.
Now you say, I've gotten all my wides, my mediums, my tights, my ECUs, whatever it is, right? And then all of a sudden now you're like, what if I shoot through this? What if I go from the bottom up, right? What if I rig this to a car for no reason, right? We did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those are the shots that come out and like, you're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. But if you focus all of your time on all those crazy shots, you can't put an edit together.
Yeah.
You have to have the shots that, you know, establish the scene. You have the ones that zoom in on like your eyes when you're speaking or something, right? Those are the ones that truly fill out an edit, and which is where, once again, I love pre-production for that, because before we even start making this edit, I've already felt something.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. It'll go from the script too. Like if you're doing a pro, like you're pre and you're sitting there and you're like, okay, here's the script. How can we make this happen? And then also when you're pointing and shooting, you can also act everything out, right? You know, when you're on set, you're there with the actors or whatever, so on and so forth. You're like, this is like wedding filmmaking. You're directing the bride and groom. You're going to direct the actors who are on set. And you're like, I need you to feel this emotion. This is what you're going to feel. This is what you're going to turn. This is what I want you to look at, right? Because I think Stuart asked me this question. He says, do you get emotional or you get that feeling every time you film a wedding? I said, yes, I do. Because I know when a shot is going to be fantastic. I've seen you do it. I think I put the GoPro out and I did a time lapse, but you had the body rig on and everything and you had your camera. And I know when you film, you're like, oh, that's money, baby. That's money, baby. And like, you'll turn around and have a big old cheesing smile. Whenever I do it, I'm like, that's it. Like I'll be running, like, especially when Jeff and I were filming, I think the runnings. No, it was on the bike scene. Right. And I had to sprint behind Michael with the gimbal, like full running back style. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is, and it was, oh my God, the footage came out. I was just cheesing. I was just watching the playback and I was like, this is fantastic.
You know, you nailed it when you nail it. You don't need anyone else to tell you that was a good shot. But you also know when it's not a good shot. You're like, yeah, it's all right. It'll work. Right.
It'll work.
How many times have you said it'll work?
It'll work.
But guess what? I don't want it to work.
No.
I want it to knock your
I will literally go back
socks
and
off.
I'll go back and get safety after safety after safety just in case. And that's my thing. Just in case something doesn't work out.
That's my downfall, actually. I overshoot.
There's nothing wrong with overshooting.
It is when you get to the editing and the sifting part.
I understand that part. I understand.
But I'd rather have it and not use it than need something.
And not have it. And that is that's the thing, because overshooting and then we got this angle from this side, we got this head turn or her head turn and whatever, so on and so forth. Audio still syncs up. We just gonna go ahead and switch our angles. Having safeties is perfectly fine as long as you hit your timeline. I've been on so many sets where sometimes you're like, all right, call time is going to be at 6. All right, call time is at 10 p.m. And you're like, okay, cool. We have a 4-hour shot. I mean, we overshot by 4 hours. But I mean, that's film. Sometimes a lot of smaller budget clients, like, hey, we have to work within their time frame, their schedule. And we try to get as many shots as possible because, like you said, if you come in with the meat and potatoes, get all your shots, coming in with the shot list, what you need to shoot. Because I know we do that for weddings, we do that for commercials, we do that for animations as well. Like, here's a script, here's our shot list. After we get all these, now we can start to play around and get some extra stuff.
That's where the fun happens.
Yeah, that's definitely where the fun is. Like, I want to move it this way. Or the light is more beautiful on this person's side. Or I like the way they're turning here. I like the way they emote. Or I like the way their facial gestures are.
If you have fun first, most of the time you're going to have a pretty rough edit. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
If you do the, let's call it the boring part at the beginning, you're going to have a really good edit at the end because you already know that thing's already put together.
Yeah.
We have to see the edit in our heads before we start shooting. Because if not, what are we doing? We're just pointing the camera at things.
Yep.
I hate doing that. Well, don't get me wrong. There's times you have to do that, right? Sometimes there's client work. You've never been there before. They have no idea what's going on. They can't really help you. It could be an event, right? I mean, you need to capture emotions. You need to capture people. You need to capture interactions. You need all of those things to fill it out. But a lot of times you can't control those. So you're just hoping to hold on to a shot long enough to get what you need. And then you can go, all right, got it. Now you can move to another position and then start filming there. It was tough, dude, but it was a retirement home and they were having a crawfish boil. Dude, I had to hold on to shots for the longest time until something good happened, right? But you always get it. You just can't, and you can't force a lot of these too.
Yeah.
If I go with Jeff, sometimes I'll make him go force the interaction. Like, hey man, I need you to eat this cookie or something. You know, or I need you to wave or smile or do something, because watching or shooting something that doesn't move, you might as well take a picture, man.
Yeah.
So when we shoot video, it's all about capturing action, but action also has the emotion in it. A lot of times if you're just sitting still, where's the emotion?
Yeah. Because this is a stagnant shot. I know leading on that, I filmed a wedding, say 2 weekends ago or a weekend ago.
That's right.
And we were sitting there and the guys, the groomsmen were in there and they were all like, they looked at me and I was like, hey, I'm the videographer. I'm a friend of the groom. Yeah. Also, we went to play football together in high school. And I said, I'm just a fly on the wall. Act normal. And when you say act normal, everybody's like, I don't know what to do with my hands as I look at the camera. And all of a sudden I had to tell them, hey, look, talk about something that'll get you guys going, right? And then as soon as I said that, they just started like talking and then making jokes like, hey, the videographer's in the room. And then all of a sudden it led on to something else. And then one person overtook that conversation. This person took that conversation. Then it was like I was not even in the room at all. And then they were like, 30 minutes passed. And they were like, do you still want us to keep going? I was like, yeah, keep going. Because it's the emotion that it's real, not something where you're coming in and says, hey, fake laugh. Because I can pinpoint, ha, 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 ha. You're like, they're not interested. They're not into it, And then with people who are not really actors, they don't know how to emote correctly. Or it's like, okay, it's that awkward laugh or that awkward moment or that awkward look away to where you're like, if you were looking this way, that's like, you've ever seen somebody in a store and it's like it's like they want to talk to you, but you don't want to talk. And then you're just like, hey, or it's like awkward goodbye, or you're looking at them and you're like, yeah, okay, gotta go. And you're making eye contact, but your face is turned this way. Yeah, I've done that so many times. But, but yeah, man.
I don't shoot weddings anymore. But when I did, I had so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
I would just get people to do dumb things. Hey man, I need you to jump off this couch. What do you mean? Jump off the couch.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're catching all of these like funny things. And like once people start to get relaxed, that's when you start to capture the real stuff.
Yeah.
You have to go through that first 15, 20 minutes of like boring.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you show up to any shoot and like the very beginning is like, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to be boring. So you tell them, hey man, the first 15, 20 minutes probably going to suck, dude.
Yeah.
But when you get more comfortable with this, we're going to capture a lot of really cool shots.
Yeah.
And then when they see the edit at the end, they go, oh my God, you were right. And once again, people just see the end. They don't see the process in the middle. They don't see how hard it was for you to get these things or how long you had to hold this shot. You're like, oh my God, you were everywhere all at once. And you're like, no, dude, I shot for 4 hours to put a 5-minute edit together.
Yeah.
All right. Like that's how hard this was.
Yeah.
Because there's things that you can put in the video, but it doesn't make it entertaining. It's boring.
And you don't want to make it boring, or you don't want to be like, well, I need some fluff. I need to throw this in here.
It's not surveillance footage.
Like, oh, let me not. Because then it won't fit with anything else that you've already added to the edit, right? So
once again, you start with the emotion you want, and everything you do from pre-production to post-production has to answer that question. Did I nail that emotion or not? If you didn't, you did something wrong. So now we're jumping all the way around. So Orlando, I want to know more about LA. When you were living in LA.
Oh, dude. Man, so
because you've probably lived in a lot of places that are very heavy into this type of industry.
Yeah.
Baton Rouge, we're not that big of you know.
I mean, at the time, bro.
You know.
At the time it was when we get to that part. So LA, at the Dave School, at the time when I was going there, and my professors, they're not there anymore. So it was privately owned. Now I think it's owned by the Florida University, whatever district or whatever. Cool. So, but beforehand it was privately owned by a single individual. So, there, when you get to your block 3, they prepare you for your reels. So you start developing.
What's a block 3? Like a third semester or something?
No, block 3 is like 3 months. So you're learning, like, say your block 1 is your 3D modeling at the time, because right now they restructured everything. So it's under new leadership, like I stated. So you got your block 1, which is 3D modeling, with 3 months. Then you go 3 months of animation, 3 months of visual effects, and then 3 months of working with your classmates to make a student film, which the concept is created by your professor, and then your associate professor, will come up with like a script or so on and so forth. And then, like I said, Carlos was the concept artist for our film. So he did like a lot of aliens, and we had to do head sculpts and 3D sculpts on those, and we had to do 3D digital tracking. But like after I graduated, one individual, Michael Keith, who's still there, and one of our professors, God rest his soul, Ron Thornton, who worked on the original Star Trek. He did a lot of practical effects for the
William
Shatner. William Shatner. Yeah. So he did all those, and he was looking for a team to bring to California, right? And usually at that time, Stereo D was going on, who does stereo conversion for films or like 3D. But that was the only way you can get in, is doing stereo conversion, then branching off and trying to work in another studio, unless you went to like Full Sail, or you went to one of, I think, Ringling or any other major design studio or 3D studio. So he was looking for a team to bring to LA, and I was we graduated, and I was packing up my dorm, blah, blah, blah. I mean, my condo. And he was like, hey, you guys want to come to LA? And I was like, me go to LA? Like, small guy from Louisiana, Sulphur, Louisiana, go to LA? And I was like, yeah, dude, I'll definitely go. So we all flew out to LA. It was like, 4 of us flew out there. And literally that was the VFX team, 4 people. 4 people for a pitch for a TV show called Tribe of the Wild. It was by the park creator, Shuki Levi, who was park creator for Power Rangers with Saban. And he wanted to pitch this TV show. And we were like, heck yeah, we'll definitely do it. So we did that for a couple months, almost to a year. And then I left there after our contract ran out. And LA was beautiful. It was kind of like, when you go to LA and you see it on television, and you're like, you see like the Walk of Fame. You think the Walk of Fame is like this long boulevard of just people's names. And then I was, like I said, country guy, get to LA, and I'm like, this is it? This is the Walk of Fame? And then you see people's like names and like alleys and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But I mean, it was an experience, and I tell everybody, who asks me advice, like, hey man, should I go to LA? Just go experience it.
Yeah.
Experience it. Go to the studios, put your name out there, meet with other people who are in the industry, because there's tips that, they could share for you. Because you may not want to be in LA to do 3D, or you may not want to be there to do film. You may want to be in another city to do it.
I guess the beautiful thing about what you do is you don't have to be physically there to do it.
No. And now that the aspect that we can actually create our own stuff now, like, hey, I got this idea, I want to animate, I got these characters. Like, I was never the best 3D modeler in school at all, but I'll give you 100%. I'll give you 100%. You ask me to do something, I'll do it. And like meeting those influential people that we still hang out and talk, every day about our ideas, is always a good thing. Because after I left there, I went and moved back home. Then I actually was only home for like maybe a couple months. And then boom, I got hired to work for Factory VFX and do the pitch castle system for Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. We didn't get that contract, but we just needed to pitch it out. And then
that's still very cool.
It is. I was so nervous because I was like, oh my God, I'm not the best 3D modeler, but these guys have the confidence in me to do this. And I feel very privileged and proud. And I'll give a shout out Eric Christensen of Factor VFX, who gave me the strength, mentally and the confidence to, have confidence in me to do all those things. And then I worked on that. I worked on the Billboard Music Awards thing, and a host of other stuff for Factory. And then left there, worked at a sign shop for a little bit, because I think at that time they had to shut down that studio because the tax credits were going away for Louisiana at that time. So a lot of studios were leaving. Disney pulled out and moved to Atlanta at that time. And then moved back to New Orleans, worked for Hydraulics VFX, worked on this actually a very good sci-fi movie called Spectral on Netflix. Worked on Baywatch, worked on the commercial shot for Death Note when Ryuk leans his head out and laughs. I forgot what else I worked on there for there. And then Skyline, worked on that. And then when that studio closed, there was a lot of studios closing.
It sounds like it.
Right?
Jeez, it must be hard.
It is. VFX is hard. There's a lot of us that, we stuck it out. We grit our teeth. And it's just sometimes where you're just like, okay, I need stability. At that time, people were jumping from job to job, trying to get different contracts or whatever. And you want to stay on something long term. So at that time, after that studio closed, I jumped to an event company. And then that was a complete nightmare. I was literally, why did I jump from this studio to this nightmare? And my girlfriend, who's my wife now, she was like, you enjoying it? I was like, I hate this job. I literally hate this job. She was like, how's it going? I said, I am sweeping floors. She was like, what? I was like, yeah, there's no office. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, we drove past there. I was like, yeah, there's no office. I'm literally sweeping floors. I got to run Cat 5 cable or whatever. And I'm a designer. And it was for an event company. And we did a lot for, they did a lot for the PGA Tour and some other stuff. We did an NHL All-Star Weekend where we had replicated Stan McKitten's statue for Wayne's World and made that out there, put that up there. And then that wound up being a nightmare all in itself. And I literally, the owner of the company was just cussing everybody out. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing this. You're not going to cuss me out. So I literally said, you can book my flight back to Baton Rouge. We were in Monterey Bay, California, doing for the PGA circuit and celebrity PGA circuit. And I was like, you can book my flight back to Baton Rouge. You're not going to disrespect me just like you did everybody else. And then came back. And then I worked at a sign shop again. Same sign shop. Oh my God, tongue-tied. Same sign shop. And then I worked for Gordon McKernan, and then after that, worked for Lamar.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I love it because you've collected so many experiences that most people will never have.
Yeah.
Do you think that Blender and all of these other free programs that are out now, it's impacted the industry at all? Or
dude, Blender. I don't know if I think it was the Oscars. There was an animation about it was a cat. It was, and that was done in Blender. Blender, because I would usually work in Maya, and Maya is a great program. But the artists that can't afford that type of subscription, because I work through it through work, but Blender is a free software that is put out where people can just utilize it at their exposure, and there's so many plugins that people create that you can use and create your own stuff and then try to pitch that. Or just I don't want to pitch anything. I just want to create something that I created. You know what I'm saying? You could be a guy who say owns a law firm or just does construction or architecture and just I just want to create an animation and just keep it for yourself or your kids. Blender is a great tool for people to learn. And I implore everybody who has an opportunity to learn Blender, just try it out.
Dude, I'd love to learn it. I can't add another program that I'm learning right now.
Yeah.
There's just so many out there. I want to start using AI more to create videos.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. Like everybody, I think Stuart asked me about that. What do you think about AI? I was like, I don't know. If it's used as a tool, yes. Because I know Coca-Cola, and I started shaking my head at it because Coca-Cola last year tried to use AI for their commercial and it just fell apart. And every VFX artist was like, I just want to just smash my TV with a hammer.
It is getting better now.
It is getting better. I just don't know. You still need to know the aspects of filmmaking, VFX, animation, all those type of things, where lighting is going to be. You still have to know all those things. And it would be a tool for us to use because we already know those things or going to learn more about those things. We're somebody who says like, yeah, I'm a AI artist. Okay, what's your inspiration for the shot? I don't know. I just typed in a prompt. Well, how do you fix this shot? How do you fix the lighting on this? How do you fix its audio? Or I need the fire come up here, or I need water to flow this way. I don't need it to flow backwards. Like, well, I don't know how to fix it. I mean, yeah, it's going to get better, but you need to know how to fix those things. Because practically, you could set up a water sim in 3D, or you can set up a water tank, if you're doing a small level VFX.
Dude, that's awesome. So the experiences that you've had that have led you to this moment right now, sitting with me in this chair, now you're trying to create better opportunities for people with this platform with the Artisan View.
Yeah.
You've already had 2 guests on, and I watched those, and I didn't know who either of those were. So I do want to ask you who they were, what they do. I mean, from the podcast, I've already gotten it.
Most def.
Which I'm not going to spoil anything because it's really freaking cool, right? But it's people that you wouldn't expect to know, but they're doing such awesome things.
They are.
Right? One of them animated or not animated, like inked for Marvel.
Yep. That's
right?
Roland Paris.
Yeah.
Paris.
The only reason I know what an inker is from Mallrats.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but that's super cool. So how did you link up with those 2 guys?
I actually work with them. I actually work with both of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I walked into the office and I was like, and this was after, like, I think you and I were talking. And I was like, you know what? I need to find some guests. But also I'm going to start with people I know.
You should.
And which, I was like, well, we're good. It's not like we're strangers. We work in the same 3D department. And Roland actually will draw or sketch out the props, sometimes. And then I'll I'm going to take your prop and I'm going to 3D model it. And then we're going to boom, there's your proof of concept. So I literally just walked up to him and says, hey, would you guys be interested in being on the podcast called the Artisan View? This is my idea. And just give artists a platform or collectors a platform. Anybody who's interested in anything.
Yeah.
Toy design, whatever. And they were like, yeah, we'll do it. Didn't even bat an eyelash. They said, we'll do it. I said, awesome, cool. I said, do you guys need like a list of questions? Like, nope. No. We'll just show up. We'll be natural. I said, I love it. We'll do it that way. And Roland inked for Marvel. I literally fangirled or geeked out my first day in because my art director was like, yeah, here's Roland. He's at a Comic-Con right now. But he worked for Marvel. I was like, Roland Paris worked for Marvel. And I was like, hell yeah, I can't wait to meet him. And then Gavin, who also I work with, learned a lot from Roland. So both of those are illustrators, they're inkers, and Gavin's learning to ink right now from Roland. And I geek out every day when they're sitting there with their iPads or their tablet, excuse me, and they're just drawing during break time. And I'm like, dude, just watching y'all is just fantastic. Like, I just love it. The
So
creativity.
Pull it out every single day.
Yeah,
They're just
man.
like,
Gavin,
what are you doing? Just doodling?
I'll walk past Gavin and I'm like, dude, how are you? He said, yeah, I'm in Procreate on his tablet and just drawing. Because when we had, when I interviewed both of those guys, Roland told me the next day, he says, hey man, I blame you for telling me to go digital. I was like, I didn't tell you to go digital. He's like, yeah. I said, when Gavin brought up the iPad and said he was drawing on an iPad and he was, Roland just draws on pen and paper. Roland the next day went and bought an iPad. So I'm like, hey,
dude,
2025,
man.
Digital, you still do pen and ink and all those type of things. It just makes you multifaceted.
Mm-hmm. So do you know if he uses like a paper-like screen protector or anything?
I think so. I think they do. I'm gonna ask him
because I know I use it. I use mine for more note taking than anything, and I hate that feeling of the Apple Pencil on glass.
Really?
So the paper-like it's a clear screen protector, but it's textured almost. Yeah. So when you write on it, it feels like you're writing on paper. I'm
gonna have to put that on my iPad. Because I hate that glass. I think they're
on version 3 right now.
I hate that glass feeling. That glass it makes it feel like you're just sliding across.
So smooth. I don't. Yeah. If I was coloring or something, I probably would like it. But still, like writing, I want it to feel like very tactile. Mm-hmm. The Remarkable. My buddy has one, and I love the feeling of it. Yeah. It just doesn't do enough for me. Like this iPad controls all these studio lights. You know what I mean? Like,
which is very impressive.
Yeah.
This is very, very impressive because I'm not a lighter. I don't light.
Oh, I love lighting.
And I'm kind of like going off on a tangent. Whenever we linked up for our first film, right? That one didn't go too well. But we learned a lot. We learned a lot. We definitely learned a lot. But I literally told you guys, I said, I like this concept. And I said, run with it. I thought you guys lit sets, like literally you guys lit that set like a movie scene.
We've never done a movie.
And I was like, this is fantastic. For you guys to say this is our first time doing it, I was like, yeah. Now you don't have to say this is our first time doing it.
Yeah.
Like it was lit beautifully. I love the fact that you guys could have, not could, but y'all did light, like backlighting to give us that like aesthetic and all that type of stuff, and like bounce light off the face and all those type of things.
It's
like
mood,
Michael.
Man.
Yeah.
There's so many, there's qualities of light.
And then sometimes before you even press
soft direction.
Yeah. And like before we even press play, Kane was standing there with his camera, and like I think we were also looking at through the monitors, and we're like, oh, that's beautiful.
That's
good. Beautifully lit. Like, and that's the thing. Y'all lit it so well to the point where it was like there was no reproach. No reproach. We didn't have to go back.
I tried to ask for feedback. I was like, what can I do better?
We didn't have to go back and be like, you need to do this better. Like, no. Like literally, whenever, like we talked about, whenever you see something through a camera and you're like, that's going to be our shot. That's our lighting. Stick with this. Now reproduce this lighting over here for this shot, this person, so on and so forth. Y'all did a fantastic job.
It was fun, man.
Yeah.
I enjoy the lighting part. Let's be honest, the lighting that we do now is a little boring, right? It's
going to get better.
Oh no, we know how to do better. I like to be creative with it, right? Like just even looking on the background here, like we've got gobos shining on the back wall. If we didn't, it would look kind of boring.
Yeah.
Gobos on this side, right? Shooting through things, creating shadows. Shadows is where the drama happens.
Yes.
Too much light and you lose everything. Not enough light, you can't see anything.
Just wait till we film the horror film. It's going to be fantastic.
When we film that horror film, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Yep.
I already know.
And I'm going to have an overactive imagination when I go home, and I'm going to be like, I'm not looking in that corner.
It's going to be mostly shadows, right? So you're going to have a lot of crushed shadows somewhere. But the darker something is, where the light hits is where your eyes go.
Yeah.
So you are directing the viewer's eyes to where you want it to go, which is why I love lighting so much. Like this is kind of boring, right? We're just lighting faces.
The thing is, it's like that's what you surround yourself with. You're like, okay, I hate lighting, but I have to learn it for weddings and filmmaking and all that type of stuff. Even for animation, you have to make sure the lighting is there, because when we talk about putting a team together, or when we did talk about putting a team together, you're like, I don't like lighting. I love lighting. Like you said, I love lighting. Awesome. I can just check that off. I don't have to worry about that. I can just worry about, okay, depends on whose idea we run with, right? It's like now I can just, if you're writing the script, I can just collaborate.
Because I don't want to write a script. Let Lemon write a script.
Oh, I can write. I like
what I mean? Like, let you write the script. I don't want to write the script.
Even Jeff's idea, for the short we talked about during lunch, I'm ready for that one. Like, I've been thinking about that one for a good minute.
It's like 4 shots.
Yeah, 4 shots, 1 location. That's literally it. And also, too, another inspiring thing, the BRUF, Baton Rouge Film Festival. that we went,
Oh,
all
that's
three of us went
right,
to.
yeah.
That 3. I honestly think
Baton
that was
Rouge
inspiring.
Underground Film Festival. Yeah,
That was inspiring. Because I was like,
that was
holy-
very cool.
I was like, we can definitely do this.
I think Joe Carlton just finished up another
did?
another film. Yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah.
We keep up every so often, but it was
You should bring
awesome.
him on the show.
Dude, I know, right?
You should bring him. Joe.
Well, actually, you should bring him. This is your show.
Joe, you hear him, right? You hear JP? Jump on the show.
Let's do it. We'll grab
Let's do
some
it.
beers at Smiling Dog.
Ooh, they have some good wings, dude.
I've never had the wings.
Really?
I go for the cheap burger night, whatever that night is.
When's
I forget.
that
I
night?
don't know, like a Wednesday or something.
Okay. Because the reason why we went for wings is because my wife wanted to beat me in pool. She didn't beat me. It's going to state the fact there. She didn't beat me at all. But the wings were great. And I had
Should have let her win.
No, that's not how we do this in our house. There is no participation trophy. There is no participation trophy. Not at all.
You got to earn it.
No. And yeah, we had wings and Angry Balls. That is
What's an
Angry Balls? That's Fireball and Angry Orchard.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I can
Yeah.
see that.
It's a good holiday drink.
That's not bad.
You should put that on the menu.
Dude, for the longest time now, I've stayed away from Fireball. It just does something to me now.
Really?
Like, it's like, my buddy can't drink it without like breaking out in hives.
What?
Yeah.
I just smile a lot. Like
Well, we drink a lot,
I smile a lot.
so it's
Like I'm like, oh, I'm feeling this, and I'll sit there and just. He says, "You're good, dude." I was like, "Yeah, yep." Sitting there smiling. That's
it
it.
tastes so good though.
It does.
You know?
And if you mix it with Angry Orchard,
Well, Angry Orchard's just good by itself too.
yeah, but mix it with that, it's like Christmas. Fantastic.
I can taste it. I can taste it right now.
Fantastic. How do we even get on this tangent?
Actually, no idea. This is how they go. I don't go into any podcast with any direction.
Yeah, man.
It's usually just to get to know people and
Yeah.
let them speak about what they want. And if I have a question about something, I ask that question.
Yeah.
Right. So there's really no agenda to
Yeah.
these podcasts.
And that's the thing, man. Like sometimes you're gonna sit there, you see some people are like, I'm just gonna read from this pamphlet, and like, okay, I'm done. Or it's not. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel natural. You don't get that emotion from each person because then you're just contemplating, okay, what question I need to ask next, reading off a piece of paper. Because I can fumble on my words all the time, but that's natural. That's just how people
it should
speak.
be. Yeah. For my first couple of podcasts, I would cut out all the times that I would mess up or cough or something because it had to be perfect, right? And then I started to realize, no one's really watching these, right?
Yeah.
But it started off, my sister asked me the question. She's like, do you really think these podcasts are going to blow up? I was like, I don't care if it does or not.
Yeah.
It's not for them. It's for me. So originally I started doing podcasts because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I've always been behind the scenes, super introvert, right? I would rather someone else take the credit for something than me, right? But once again, let's talk about 2025, man.
Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah.
Shamar.
Nice. Yeah. Nice to meet you. That's why we hang out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take the credit. I don't want it.
Yeah. But now you start to realize that if people don't see you, they don't think you exist.
Yeah.
So if you own a business now, which is why this is so important that we do this for not just for us, but for everybody else, is if they don't know you exist, you're gonna miss out on opportunities, right? But there's no one's saying that they're gonna see this podcast. But when these podcasts are over, I give this to the guest, right?
Yeah.
So I give them the long form, which is the horizontal for YouTube, whatever they want to use it for, and then I give them a vertical, right?
Yep.
So these verticals, they can cut up however they want. We use Opus Clip to just take out snippets, right? But it's not the best, right? The captions will come out wrong, right? Every so often, or it'll cut out right before the really juicy part. Like it's still AI. So it still doesn't know emotion.
Yeah.
Even though it says I'm cutting for emotion, it doesn't cut for emotion, right?
No.
It cuts out right before the emotion happens, right? And then, so I'll usually end up for, let's say about a 2-hour podcast, I usually end up with 45 to 60 like little shorts that I can give people.
Yeah.
And they can use this for whatever they want. So the more that you put yourself out there, the more opportunities come your way. No one knows all the things that you've done.
No.
Right? Like
And that's the thing. Like people will be like, you did this? Like, yeah. My wife told me one time, she's like, please just stop. Like you really, it's not bragging or anything like that. Cause back in the day, people were like, man, if you talk about yourself, you're bragging.
No.
It's not being boastful and being, excuse my French, an asshole,
Arrogant. Yeah.
arrogant, uptight, all that type of stuff. Like
Pretentious.
yes. Like that's bad.
Yes.
But like telling people who you are It's not bad at all. And that's what I had to get over, because I thought about, if I talk about myself, it makes me look pretentious, or makes me look arrogant, or makes me feel like, oh man, did I say that right? Did I make them feel like I was full of myself, or all that type of stuff? I used to feel that way. And now I'm coming out of my shelf, because like I used to be like you, what you said, I'm just going to go ahead and just film this, stick in the corner, and then like,
let the work speak for itself, right?
And like, because I was on Stewart's podcast, and he was like, "Wait a minute, you've done all this?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Dude, I didn't know this. Like, I have a best friend. Like, I have multiple best friends. It's not just one, but one of my best friends, she was like, "Hey, this is Shamar. He works on movies. He's done this, this, and this." And I'm like, "Son of a god dang it!"
Yep.
And then
you're like, "Rat me out, why don't you?"
She was like, "God dang it, yeah, he does this, that, and the other." And then my other best friend, she'll be like, "Hey, yeah, he's a badass." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I just like to create great stuff. Like, I'll go to the movies and see, like, get inspired."
You should.
I'll go to the movies by myself.
Inspiration's everywhere. But I have a challenge for you.
What's up?
The next time someone gives you a compliment, say thank you. That's it. So do you know why people give compliments? They want to feel good, right? They want to make you feel good, which in turn makes them feel good. If you don't accept it, bro, it's like a slap in the face.
Well, a lady, I went to Best Buy today, and this lady, I think she was like maybe 70 years old, and like literally her husband passed me, and I'm just looking at Legos because I'm waiting for my wife to call me because I got to pick up, Target pickup. And she was like, and I just smile a lot, like I said before. And she was like,
I do too.
"I appreciate your smile." And I was like, "Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's nice." That made me feel, I was like, yeah, okay.
I have this thing that I'm doing lately, because you assume the people, especially the people closest to you, know how you feel about them, right? Like my wife or my friends or whatever it is, right? But they don't. You assume they know. So every time I have the chance to say something that I like about what they're doing, I do it, right? And it's never like, "You have pretty eyes," right? I don't compliment people on the things that they can't change.
Yeah.
I compliment people on the things that they work hard on.
Hell yeah.
Right? That's where the real compliments come from. I noticed that you spent all of this time putting up the Christmas decorations. I really appreciate you making our house look festive, right? I didn't say all of that. I said, "Babe, it looks great."
Yeah. So well, I mean, I told my wife, I was like, because she's a school teacher, and I say, "Look, I appreciate everything you do as a mom. You come home, you do this," and I'm the type of person that helps, like, will help. Like, okay, you got a great papers. I'm gonna watch you, give the kids bath and all that type of stuff and feed them. And like I tell her, it's like being appreciative of things. And I understand what you're saying is like, say thank you, be appreciative, and it's being appreciative.
Show
Sometimes
gratitude,
it's just like, sometimes I think I haven't received that in a lot of the career choices or career moves, to the point where like, yeah, I'm working hard, but there is no like, "Hey man, you're doing a great job." Not saying your employer has to give you that at all, because they pay you. But sometimes it feels good to be appreciated. And I think the lack of appreciation made me feel that I wasn't being appreciated, or I'm just going to lean back away from the appreciation because I don't get it. My wife, my kids, my mother, my design colleagues, my creative group, creative collabs, best friends, that's, you guys make me feel appreciated, that,
Good.
and that's a great thing. That's a great thing. So
I also think about when they don't show appreciation, I ask for it now. I ask, "Babe, you proud of me?" Right? Because people get so busy and they're wrapped up in their own problems and the things that they have to do next. And it's very hard to sometimes like snap yourself out of it. It's not that they don't. I mean, I know I do, right? I appreciate the people around me. That's why they're around me.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not enough, and I'm doing a better job of it now, but once again, I get wrapped up in what I'm doing too, like I'm busy. I got to get this done, or, this is a problem I'm trying to fix right now and I don't really know how to do it yet. There's a lot of things that cause us to not live in the moment.
Yeah.
Right. But I made a comment today. I was like, if I died tomorrow, I'd be happy, dude. I've accomplished so much that I wanted to accomplish. I've set my family up. I've done X, Y, Z, right? There's so many things that I've done that I'm extremely proud of, but I don't talk about those things. I talk about the things I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm talking about things that I'm working on right now, right? But that's that drive. That's that ambition to do a little bit more, dude, just a little bit more. You know, what was yours? Like plus it or whatever?
Yeah, you got to plus it, dude. You got to plus it. And that's one thing. Oh my God, I hated Veg for like, plus it. I was like, Veg, God dang, it's 11 o'clock. Is it? Plus it. How does this look? I said, no, add another fire layer on top. You know, make the comp better. You need to get rid of this and green screen that. And I'm like, can I just be done? He says, plus it, plus it, plus it. And I was like, son of a gun. And then I was like, Veg, what about now? Send it. I was like, oh, thank God. Render it, put it in the folder, done.
Do you need people like that to push you?
You do.
You know? If
you do.
When they push you, you know they care. You know, they don't have to push you.
You don't.
You know, they'd be like, that's fine. I hate those words. That's fine. Like, what do you mean that's fine?
Yeah.
Like, good, bad? Like,
do I need to work on anything? Let me know if I need to fix this because if I turn it in or whatever, no matter if you're cutting the grass, if somebody, it's fine. They're like, well, I just scalped the ditch over there. You know,
like you cool with that?
You cool
like,
with that? This is missing a big old chunk of grass.
It's white right now.
Yeah, it's going to turn yellow tomorrow. It's going to get scorched. You know,
dude. But I love the fact that we have people around us that can push us, that can make us do a little bit more.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's greatly appreciated, wholeheartedly on my end because. Appreciation came in spurts, you know, when you surround yourself. So when you move away, you meet new people, and then, you know, you move away from them and you meet new people. And nowadays, you know, like you said, you give people their flowers now, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you know, you could die tomorrow or whatever. I'm very appreciative of everybody that I've worked with, I've collaborated with, I've designed with, who've given me positive affirmations. You know, working with you and Jeff, all alike, you know what I'm saying? Because without you extending your gratitude of like, hey, we got this podcast area coming up, or Stuart saying, we're going to make this happen. That idea of the Artisan View would have just circulated in my head, trying to figure out how to make it actually happen, right? So giving you guys your flowers now and saying thank you, appreciation from me is my thing.
It's somehow selfish on my part too. I told you when I first met you, I was like, I'm going to make your dreams come true.
Yeah, bro.
But when I make your dreams come true, you fill my cup.
Yeah, man.
I need my cup filled.
Yeah.
So that's where the selfish part comes in. Just because I do something nice for you doesn't mean I can't get something in return.
Oh,
right?
100%.
You know, everyone assumes that you can only do nice things, but you can't expect nice things in return.
Yeah.
No. I don't work with people like that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. Like, working with you guys is such a great outlet. It's such a great outlet. Because my wife told me one time, and she was saying, before I met y'all, she was like, you need to go talk to some creative people. Well, because I would come home from work and I would sit at a desk and do 3D models and stuff like that, but nobody understood the process. And I was like, I got to talk to somebody. She was like, yeah, you do. You need to go talk to some nerds. You need to go talk to other people
so we can nerd out,
nerd out. So that way,
I love talking about camera gear,
dude,
like when me and Kane talk,
sending y'all stuff and like, hey, you got this new deal on Amazon? Check this out. Oh, I love buying new gear. That's what you said, you know. And when you nerd out with like-minded people, man, it makes you feel full. It makes you feel like, hey, what are your topics on this, or how do you like working with the Sony, or how you know when you guys bought the deities and trying to link everything up to make sure you have accurate audio. I may not know anything about it, the link up the system between all three cameras. I'm like, but I'm sitting there watching you guys try to figure it out, and I'm like, yeah, this is inspiring to me. This is what I like being around.
We like figuring things out, man. We love to get a little bit better every single time.
Yep.
So what can we expect from Artisan View? What's on the horizon?
View, man, we're going to bring in more guests, more artists. We are definitely going to branch out more. You know, I want to talk to a couple of musicians as well, see how they're going to be moving and collaborating and all those good things. Also, I want to work on, you know, like I said, I'm a videographer, I'm an animator, visual effects artist, graphic designer, t-shirt designer, just a man of all accolades there now that we could say we could be proud of all the things we've done.
Be proud of it.
So, yeah, man, just making new things with great people. I hope to shoot a short film next year with you guys. And hopefully we can go attend Baton Rouge Underground and put something in it.
Dude, it's going to be awesome.
That's my goal.
Oh, before we leave, I can't wait to finish or to see the rest of Llama's edit.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait.
Dude, that thing was cool.
Michael was a great performer, dude. Like, honestly, Michael was fantastic.
I loved watching him work.
Yeah. And also, I got to get him on the show.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I got to get him.
Dude, our entire collective's got to come.
Yeah. And I can't wait till we do a wrap-up video for Llama.
Dude, I know. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah, it's going to be funny.
Even the edit that she showed the other day, she was like, it's not done. I was like, bro, it's like...
Yeah, but the thing is, she's going to add more stuff to it. She's adding more stuff because, like she said, going through the edit, going through the folders and looking like crap. I have to add more stuff and more stuff and more stuff, just to make it more interesting.
Dude, she learned how to use Premiere Pro. Like, that's impressive.
While going to class.
Yes.
At the same time.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning Premiere Pro and it's tough.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I've done it for 6 years now. I've been using this program. I'm still learning every day.
Dude, Premiere always switch things out, and it's like, where'd this button go, or this, that, and the other. So,
well, they're constantly adding new AI tools for you.
Yeah.
So, just learning, dude. I can see an edit in my head before I even start shooting now. So I was trying to. I'll have to send it to you, but I was talking to my daughter. We went to Sky Zone yesterday, actually. Yeah. So we were at Sky Zone, and I just pulled my phone. I was like, all right, these are the transitions we're going to do, right? Like, we're going to, I'm going to need you to touch the camera. I need you to fade to black. And then from there, I'm going to go from your back as you swing on the trapeze, Yeah. And then, I guess there's a lot of trust because she didn't see this, right? She didn't see what I saw, but she did it anyway. Yeah. And then when she saw the edit, she was like, whoa. She's got this big thing now where she'll record things and then she'll say, it's okay, Daddy will edit it. And you're like, do you even know what that means?
Oh, but Daddy does.
But Daddy will edit
Daddy will do it. Yes.
She did her own a YouTube video where I can't remember exactly what she was doing. It was like some arts and crafts thing. And she was like, remember to like and subscribe. And she said all the YouTube things. And this was like 2 years ago when she was 4. So she was already doing this. So of course I had to edit this for her.
Dude, that's awesome. Like my little girl, I had my Canon. I had the Canon with the, what's it, 80? I think the 28 to 70. Yeah, I had that on there, and I had it on a tripod. It was in the office. And in my office, I have like all these cosplay helmets and the action figures and all that. I'm a collector. I don't care. I like Funko Pops, Marvel Legends, all that type of stuff, dude. Legos, all that. So I have this display, and she comes in there. My back's turned, and she's like crouching down behind the camera, and is like, I was like, what are you doing? She was like, I want to take a picture. I was like, where's your camera? No, I want to use your camera. I was like, oh, don't drop that camera. Yeah. And then I turned and she picked it up off the tripod. I was like, no, Daddy will show you. So he lit it and all that type of stuff. And I kudos to that, man. Kudos to that.
You got to teach them, man.
Yeah.
Because now video it's not an underrated skill. It's a very necessary skill now.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to edit videos, that's all you watch right now. Every time you pull out your phone, you're watching videos. Someone had to have edited that, as in put it together. Yep. It's never a one shot, like a oneer, And if it was, there's a lot of preparation that goes on.
Oh my God. I've only seen, oh my gosh. I recently saw it where it was a one shot. And it was the most, I'm at the find it and send it to you, remarkable video.
Really?
Yes.
I want to see that.
It was fantastic.
That's where I get a lot of inspiration from is if someone else can do it, I can do it. I just got to figure it out. Right? If you
and the figure out process is great.
Yeah.
The figuring out process is great because I had an idea what if we took the camera, somebody's running at a car, and I'll just play it through my head like how I want the shots to go. And if somebody's running at the car and the passenger gets in the back seat, and then how can I transition from the cameraman passing the camera into, a handoff right into the system. And I'm like, okay, but I want to make it seamless to where you don't see the jut, like somebody jutting the camera or that abrasiveness where somebody grabs something and you see the camera shake. I don't want that. I want the seamless transition.
Practice.
Of all from running right into the car and then boom, taxi, whatever, boom, 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 you're done.
I asked a friend of mine who's an influencer, and you watch her videos and you're like, dude, those are so awesome. Like, how did you do that? She's like, a lot of takes.
A lot of takes.
A lot of takes.
A lot.
If there's We shoot some UGCs and stuff. And if you realize how many times you had to say the exact same line over and over and over again, right? You wouldn't want to do this. You're like, this is a lot of work for nothing.
It is.
You know, or not for nothing, but it's a lot of work, right? So you have to love what you do, because if not, you will give up like this. But once again, the more reps you get in, the easier it gets, and the more you learn how to do it better for next time. So I forget where I heard this, but when you watch somebody and it looks like it's effortless, it's because they put in hours upon hours upon hours of practice to make it look that way.
Yep.
But all you see is that end product, right? And you're like, oh my God, you're really good at shooting free throws. You don't realize this dude shoots 5,000 free throws a day.
Every day.
Right? Every day.
Every day.
It's that consistency that does it. If you do it for one day, you never get better. Right? Same with working out. You worked out today, right? You know that you can't work out for one day. You got to work out a bunch of days.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone assumes you do it one time and you're going to be awesome at it. We talked about that. I call it the whole YouTube University era, right? Everyone who watches a video automatically feels like they're an expert. I can do this now. You know what they did, but you can't do it. I can watch someone take a car apart. You give me a car, I'm not going to know the first thing to do.
Nope.
Right? I'm not a mechanic, right? But they made it look so easy because this person has been a mechanic for 30 years now. You know, how he takes the screws off, like how he like loosens everything. Like, I don't know why we're talking about mechanics, but everything that you watch that looks so easy to them, it wasn't easy at first.
Yeah.
And most people don't give themselves enough grace or time to realize that. They go, I suck. I can't do this.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just haven't done it long enough, man.
And that's also too, is like, you just said that, like teaching your kids, like, I'm not doing this. I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. It's
we
like,
don't
no.
talk like that.
And that's what I told my daughter. I was like, nope, I can't. Like, nope, we don't do that here.
We don't say that.
Try it. And then when they try it, when she does get it right, and it's like the biggest joy for me internally, because I look at her and I smile, and she's cheesing big time because like, I did it. See, that's all you got to do. You got to try.
When you understand,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, when you understand dopamine, then you understand why finishing things is so important.
Yeah.
So everyone's got a dopamine problem now. You don't have to be ADHD to have a dopamine problem. Every time you open up your phone, your dopamine gets sapped, right? So dopamine, it starts to trickle when you start anticipating something awesome, right? Like a payoff, right? So social media, you might see something funny, you're right. You might see something like entertaining, right? Those are all like things that you think are going to happen.
Yeah.
So every time you hit that Instagram, that TikTok, whatever button you press, right? You start to trickle a little bit. All right, I'm going to keep going, right? And you keep scrolling.
Yep.
But the problem with dopamine is you don't get the actual spike until you finish something.
Yeah.
So if you don't finish, you don't get the spike. And the problem with social media is there is no end to scrolling.
Yeah, doom scrolling.
There's no payoff, right? You're constantly searching for that. So it's just trickles.
Yeah.
Trickles.
It's like brain rot. Like you get the dopamine rush and you're like, oh, that's great. And then you're sitting there and you're like,
you're searching for that next high.
Yeah.
But that high never comes. So I do have a way of, let's be honest, my kids they're going to be able to use phones, right? Like, we always talk about no tablets, and no, they're gonna, like, we all do. Like, but here's how you limit that. The other day, I was doing it yesterday, actually. She's really big into watching people with cakes right now, like making cakes. So I let her watch cakes for 5 minutes. And I said, all right, I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes. When it's over, you have to get up and do something productive, and then I'll give you more time. She didn't want to do it. But what she did was she cleaned up the living room, picked up all the blankets, folded them, put them on the thing, made them look nice. I was like, you feel good? She's like, all right. So I was like, all right, I'll give you 10 minutes, right? But I was like, after 10 minutes, what are you going to do? So I'll give it to you, but you have to do something productive to follow it. If all you're doing is watching videos all day long, dude, your brain turns to mush.
Yeah.
But if you can couple that with something productive that actually helps something, that gives you like a definitive end, right? A payoff, right? Then I'm not going to say it's worth it. It makes it better.
Yeah.
Right. It's better than not doing something productive.
Yeah.
You know, but I also think about that. And we were talking about like writing things down.
Yeah.
Right. So the dopamine trickles when you're like, all right, I'm going to be productive today. And then when you write it down, you're like, oh, it feels good to write it down, but you're like, oh, kind of daunting. I haven't done it yet. When you finish that task, I don't know about you, I cross that thing out.
Oh, 100%.
And I wear that paper out, bro.
100%.
It's not one line. It's like 1,000 lines.
Yeah, because I want to make sure, like, okay, I did do it, not just like, did I do this? Because like we talked about before the podcast, it was like having a list and making yourself accountable, because you can always go back to it. Because I had a goal list that I forgot about, that I wrote in, I think, way before I met my wife, and I put it in my Bible, and I had my Bible in my backpack and all that type of stuff, and I took it out, and I was like, holy crap, it's just 2 pages, but it's also 2 pages of like me going back and actually marking stuff off, like working in LA, working in a movie, getting this, and so on and so forth. And I'm like,
so what's left on your list?
What's left on my list? I married my wife, and then I had kids. That's on there. Work at a design studio, which is Lamar. Make a full-length feature film. Okay. That is one of the biggest things. It's not to pitch it to get an Oscar or anything like that, but it's just to do it.
No one's first movie wins anything.
No. And it's not even that, because
you got to be like a 1 in like a 10 trillion chance.
I think Samuel L. Jackson said it. He's not chasing an Oscar because an Oscar doesn't define him.
Yep.
He makes movies because he wants to make a movie. And that's what I want to do. I want to take what's inside my head, what's on my paper, what's in my tablet, and actually just bring it to life, because your imagination may inspire somebody else. Or it's like, man, that was a good horror film, or that was a great animation, or that was a great commercial, or so on and so forth. I'm using so and so forth a lot. My wife is going to just kill me. But that's what I want to do.
It's that ripple effect.
That's the ripple effect. And then also to go back on the dopamine, because I remember I told you guys beforehand at the meetup, I used to be the reason why, like, I met you guys, and then before I met you guys, chasing your own hype or getting high off your own hype. And I use that analogy is, you tell somebody your product, you tell somebody your idea, but you have no action behind it. You're getting high off of everybody's like, yeah, I can't wait to watch it, blah, 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 blah. And now you got that high on, yeah, everybody's coming, yeah, everybody's going to root me on for making this, so on and so forth. And I did it again.
It happens.
I did it again. God dang it. But yeah,
I'm not going to edit this.
My wife was like, you really use those things again, those analogies again? I was like, oh, great. But those sub words, and but you're chasing that high. And I call that, I termed it getting high off your own hype, meaning all you did was spit your idea out, get everybody excited. You got high, your dopamine levels got high off of that, and you're like, yes. And then there's no action. There's no product. There's nothing behind it. So then you try to chase, okay, let me get this other idea and put it out there. And then there's still no action. And one thing my cousin always tells people who come to him, he's a photographer out of Lake Charles, cool creation, that they come to him and tell him ideas like, man, we should do this, we should do that. I got this idea. He tells them, don't come to me until you're ready for me to pull out my equipment and film and take pictures. I don't want to hear about just an idea. We have to have a date, a deadline, when we're going to shoot.
A game plan.
All those. Because you're just telling me an idea that has no timeline. No pre, nor post, so on and so forth.
Dude, once we talked about this just now, maybe on this podcast, I can't remember, but everyone's got a million ideas. Not very many people have those actions that it takes to make something happen.
Yep.
Those are the people that I don't really want to talk to them. I was like, do you think you're the only person with ideas? Do you think you're the idea guy?
Yeah.
Everyone's the idea guy. Everyone's got a million of them. We should do this. We should do this. But what are we actually doing today? What do we do today that moves the needle and gets us closer to the goal that we set? Right? We don't, there's so much talk now. Everyone's all talk right now.
Yeah.
Everywhere you turn, people are just talking about things that they do. The ones who are actually making money are the ones who are actually doing something about it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I had this idea. Oh, that was my idea. You did nothing with it. What do you mean you invented Uber before Uber? Like, what? Like, How many times have you heard that one? Like, dude, it's crazy. I was like, dude, I had the same idea. Yeah. So did like a million other people.
Yeah.
This guy made it happen.
Yeah.
You know, and now that guy gets paid.
A
and
lot.
now you're like, but it was my idea. No, it wasn't. You didn't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't even know what time it is. Oh, dude, look what time it is.
Dang.
I know. Wow.
Bruh, see, I told you before the podcast, like, we should not talk at all because last time we sat down, we talked for 45 minutes with nobody recording. And
Well,
that's the naturalistic about it.
It's easy for us to just talk. If you notice at the very beginning, asking questions, that was a little weird. I was like, bro, I already know these things about
like,
you.
So what should I ask?
Yeah. I was like, so Artisan View, like, can you tell me about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never heard about this. Can you elaborate?
Yes, it's where artists meet together and collaborate with ideas and have a free place to be around. I'm not going to talk in that deep voice.
Bro, we might use that one to like tease the podcast with it.
Welcome to Lana Oliver's Productions.
I'm using that.
Good. It's good.
I'm using that. I'm
All
using
right,
that.
cool. Use that.
We're going to use that at the very beginning and end of every video that we produce now. It's going to be, or at least the very end, you know?
Welcome. Bye-bye now.
Yeah. So, dude, all right. So, when are we getting back in the studio? And do you know who that guest is going to be
We're getting back in the studio with Gavin and Roland.
at the same time?
We're definitely going to meet with them again because they were an interesting bunch, and having them on set and on camera at the same time is going to be very funny. Where they can both bounce their creativity off of each other, and then I can be like, Mills Lane from Celebrity Deathmatch, like that, and just talk about art, comics, whatever, man. That's what we want to do.
If, once again, we have ideas, right?
Yeah.
We need some follow through.
Yeah.
The idea, what if we sat down in these chairs with Roland and Gavin and we created something?
Yeah.
And then we let it out loose into the world after the podcast.
Yeah.
Now, what can we do?
Do it.
No, like, what can we do? Like, what can we do that involves you as well, right? They're going to design something. They're going to do
To
something.
where Roland and Gavin create you like make Jeff like the Incredible Hulk, make you like Iron Man, and put it on the front of a comic book.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, they're the comic book covers. Like,
I know it's a real thing.
No, they
but
have
like,
people. They have people that actually go to Comic Cons and like, hey, can you? And they're blank comic book sheets, like comic book covers, and they literally, can you make me this, or so on and so forth.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I will 100% stand in for that.
Yeah, they're badasses.
That's very cool.
They're badasses. Yeah.
Maybe that can be the direction that you take Artisan View, right? You can come on this podcast, but before the podcast ends, you have to deliver something, something super cool. I don't know how that's going to work. Let's be honest. That's not going to work every single time.
No, not at all.
No, it's going to take way too long.
Not at all. But yeah, man, like having those two guys on here.
Because if
would be
they're
great.
creating, they can't talk.
No, they'd be like,
Yeah.
what is it again?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I think having them on there and then reaching out to other like-minded, influential artists here in Baton Rouge and Lake Charles and Lafayette, and then, expanding our reach, and then going online and talking with like Carlos, who's in Puerto Rico, and then talking to Terrell Pickney, who's a great guy, a great director, and also a good friend of mine, Kiera Sally, who's a director as well out in Memphis, Tennessee. Bring them on, or if they, whenever they do come down to Baton Rouge, or we just do it online.
Dude, that's very cool. We'll have to figure out how to do that with two people in studio with a third person remote.
Let's figure that out.
I think we can do that.
Let's figure that out.
Pretty sure I can use Riverside for this.
Ooh, what is this, Riverside?
It's just a online podcast thing, basically.
Okay.
It's almost like Microsoft Meet.
Gotcha.
But you can record podcasts and you can do a bunch of podcasty things with it. I've already used the free version of it, so I can't really tell you much other than that.
Gotcha.
I've only used it once for my partner Trent. He did a remote podcast, and I figured it out for that. But I also figured out how to use these cameras connected to Riverside, so we got the same audio that we would get from here. We got the same visuals from here. Instead of having to use the webcam and the laptop speakers and the microphone on the laptop. So I do know how to do that part now. That's the only thing I know how to do. But we should set that up so we can do it.
We definitely do it.
Well,
We'll definitely do it.
cool, man. Well, I was going to say it was nice having you on, but this is your show.
Yeah, man. And I appreciate you telling me, like, hey, man, like the text message this morning, like, hey, it's off day. What are you guys doing today? And I was like, well, let's link up and schedule a shoot. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's definitely do it. But yeah, man, I appreciate the invite. Thank you for letting me talk about Artisan View. Thank you for asking about Artisan View. And wait, where's my camera? Looked over here.
That one.
And thank you guys for rocking out with us.
Dude, easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
All right, bro.